NBA, there's always mid-season trades, and in the moment, we don't know who win or lose. It's pretty much speculation. However, now that I have a year to reflect, I decided to look back on the 2021 mid-season trades and really give my winners and losers of all these trades. First, if you don't like the content, like, comment, sub. I make different types of basketball. I make different kind of content, not just basketball. I'm making a lot of basketball content, but I'm definitely gonna make more, memes, highlight clips. So I will not be looking at the trades that no team really won from. So, for example, the Clippers, that Calvin Jelly trade last year, where they traded Calvin Jelly in a second for another second round pick. I'm not gonna look at that one or count it because, frankly, that trade, no one really won. It didn't really do anything. I'm only gonna be looking at the main trades. The first trade we got is the infamous James Harden trade, where James Harden got sent to the Nets along with the Rockets, Cavaliers, and Pacers getting into the trade. So, in my opinion, I think the winner of this trade is James Harden, and the loser of this trade is the Rockets. I do think that the Nets gave up a lot. Also, I will be counting like the second part of this trade. I will be, thinking about this with a Victor Oladipo. But the Nets, of course, won this trade in my honest opinion. They literally traded away a bunch of picks, but they got a top 10, borderline top 5 player in the NBA in James Harden. And honestly, even though Durant is really good, I don't think the Nets would be considered a championship contender had they not traded for James Harden, especially with Kyrie Irving being out right now. And with the Cavaliers and Pacers, I think they got a solid get back. Caris LeVert for a late first, or not a late first, for Victor Oladipo, I think that was a solid get. A late first, I believe, and Dante Exum for Jarrett Allen. I think that was a good trade. Rockets in general, they got, I guess, a solid haul. They got Victor Oladipo. They, of course, got Krukas, Exum, and they also got a bunch of picks from both the Nets and the Bucks. However, the Nets are a good team, plus they're located in Brooklyn, so I doubt that the Nets are going to be bad in the near future. They could. That's why it's so hard to measure. But as for players, the Rockets really didn't get anything good from this. Exum and Krukas were not even good, plus they're not on the team anymore. And then they got Oladipo, who didn't really do that much for the Rockets, and ended up trading him for Olynyk, Avery Bradley, both players who aren't on the team anymore, and I believe a second round pick. So none of the players they got in this trade were good. And as for the Nets picks, the Nets picks, I guess, are solid gets, but I definitely think the Nets are more going to be a late first rounder. They also got the Bucks pick, the first rounder. Overall, picks aren't guaranteed to be good either. These picks could be bad, or they could just mess up on the pick. So overall, I'd have to give the winner to the Nets, and right now, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give the losers to the Rockets. The next two trades I'm gonna do are just Spitfire trades. So these were kind of the smaller trades. The Kevin Porter trade to the Cavs. I think the Rockets won this trade. They got Kevin Porter for a second. They also got the Derrick Rose trade. The Knicks clearly won this one. They traded Dennis Smith in a second for Derrick Rose, who's a really good role player on the Knicks right now. First, the Pistons acquired Hamidou in exchange for seeing Kai Luke, who's now on the team, and of course a second round pick. Getting all those small trades out the way, the next actual big trade we got is the Bulls trade for Vucevic, and in exchange, the Magic in exchange got Wendell Carter, Otto Porter, and 2 future first round picks. Now, in my opinion, I don't think any team really won or lost this trade. I know that Nikola Vucevic is an older player and hasn't really been playing that great. However, I think Vucevic was a really good addition. I think that the Bulls should have gotten Vucevic. Now, the Magic, in my opinion, they might have gotten a slightly better get. They got Franz Wagner in this trade. They also have another future first. I believe it's also protected. And Wendell has been a really good player. Otto Porter's not on the team anymore, but Wendell's been a pretty good player. But overall, I think this is kind of a 50-50. They used Aminu, I believe, in another trade to get DeRozan. So in my honest opinion, I think that the Bulls, in my opinion, won. I think actually they won by solid margin now thinking about it. The trade we got is the Blazers. They end up trading Norman Powell for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood. And again, this is kind of a trade that's up for debate. In my opinion, the Raptors won this trade just because Powell and Trent, talent-wise, are kind of on the same level this year. I think that Powell is a better player than Trent. However, in the Raptors system, and Norman Powell in the Blazers system, I think they play pretty equally when it comes to contribution. I don't think Norman Powell gets as much touches or gets as much offensive ability now being on the Blazers, so that's also a thing. And in my opinion, Gary Trent is a better defender, plus he's a lot younger. However, his contract was expiring on the Blazers, so that could have played a factor in it. So overall, I'm again gonna have to give it a tie. The next trade we got is not a tie. This one was the Bucks trade. They traded for PJ Tucker in exchange. Traded the DJs a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks, one of them being a pick swap or a top 9 protected. Now, in my opinion, at first I thought the Rockets won this trade because, I mean, they traded away PJ Tucker, who was playing horribly last year, and in exchange got DJ Augustin, a point guard who they desperately needed. They desperately needed the point guard who could ball handle. DJ Wilson, who had some upside, especially in the games he played with the Rockets, and 2 first-round picks. However, I mean, that pick that they got ended up being Josh Christopher. DJ Wilson has not played a single minute of the season for the Rockets, like, at all for some reason. And DJ Augustin has been playing pretty trash this season and didn't really do that much after, like, the first 10 games with the Rockets last year. So, overall, I think I had to give a slight edge to the Bucks, even though, I mean, Josh Christopher, he was solid in the preseason. And or the Summer League, I believe. I don't know, but he was solid Summer League. And they also got a 2023 first round pick, which could be a late first. Who you never know, they could always swoop somebody up. For now, I'm gonna have to give a winner, and surprisingly, to the Bucks, because the Bucks, Tucker played a huge role in them winning a championship. Last few trades we got, one of them is the Clippers dealing Rajon Rondo, and in exchange them trading away Lou Will some seconds. Honestly, Hawks won this trade. Lou Will played a really good part offensively into them making the second or the conference finals. And I don't know how good Lou Will's been playing this year, but the Clippers didn't really use Rondo that much, I don't believe. And he's not on the team anymore. He's on the Lakers. Plus, they got 2 second-round picks. I think that's a clear W for the Hawks. And the last trade we got on this is the, of course, notorious Nuggets Magic. This was around the time when the Magic were just trading everybody: Aaron Gordon, Vucevic, you know, Evan Fournier. But in my opinion, I think that, honestly, say the Nuggets won. I think that they got some future first-round picks. I'd have to look into their protections, so those could be, you know, good. I mean, future first-round picks, even if they're from the Nuggets, I mean, those are still late first-rounders, which could still be valuable. But RJ Hampton has shown a lot of potential. Gary Harris is a guy who I think has a lot of potential, and the tough part about it is that Gary Harris has been playing trash, but I think in the Nuggets, especially now that Jokic or Murray is injured and Michael Porter, I think that Gary Harris could have actually had a jump. I think he could have been playing as good as Aaron Gordon has been playing, of course, but now he's on the Magic, and the Magic have a bunch of guards actually, I'm going to say a tie. I'm going to say a tie because the Nuggets, even though Aaron Gordon's a really good player, really good pivotal part, I just think that the Magic got some solid pieces in return, and I think if they didn't trade for Aaron Gordon, I don't think too much would change. Actually, I don't know. This trade's really hard. You could say tie, you could say Nuggets. I don't know if I would say the Magic won this because Gary Harris has really not been good after them drafting a whole lot of guards. Plus, he's getting paid a lot of money. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Comment down below what you think of some of these trades. Like, comment, sub. Yeah, I'm out.